This room is absolutely beautiful. It is such a privilege and my distinct honor to welcome you to Case Western Reserve University. My name's Aisha Bell Hardaway, for those of you who don't know me. I appreciate that. I was about to tell a lie and say I didn't do anything, but I guess I did do something. So, it is so wonderful to have you all join us for tonight's Social Justice in the Arts event. I firmly believe in the power of communal spaces, and that's exactly what we have here, a communal space made not just possible by your attendance, but also coupled with the indigenous tribes who occupied this land before it was violently colonized, and the multitude of our collective ancestors who fought for freedom, labored without recompense or recognition, and whose spirits of truth, resistance, and love reside within me and within you today. We give honor to them for their innumerable sacrifices and for their indefatigable strength. So we're both grateful and delighted that you chose to be here with us tonight. I know that navigating campus is not easy, and I also know that there are some who truly wanted to be with us who, for whatever reason, simply could not. I know that they too are with us in spirit. For those of you who are watching this recording, and then I'm like, Allison, is it being recorded? It is, yes, okay. For those of you watching the recording, I just want to describe for you what we have here. We are here in the Tincomville Center Ballroom at Case Western Reserve University's campus. We have a capacity for 256 people. We had over 350 people reserve, text, call, send a pigeon, as recently as this morning. And so for those, yes, give yourselves a round of applause, please. Y'all so subdued and quiet. Y'all, the people who are hooting and hollering, y'all join them, okay? They're not hooting and hollering by themselves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This did not happen without a lot of hard work. And so I'm really, really grateful for you all to be here with us. Tonight we celebrate, this is sort of the subtext that nobody really knows. Tonight we celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Social Justice Institute. SJI, founded in 2010 under the leadership of Dr. Rhonda Williams, aims to eradicate all systems of oppression. We do that through honest and rigorous examinations of the root causes of social injustice. For 15 years, SJI has done its work through the education of CWRU students who enroll in our minor program and who are chosen to do elective coursework as one of our social justice scholars. Are there social justice scholars in the room, either current or previous social justice scholars in the room? Yes, yes, all right. But we also do our work alongside community members who are not necessarily affiliated with the university. The intergenerational dialogues hosted by SJI provided an intellectual home for me when I first set foot on campus as a visiting professor in 2012. The ability to engage in research and scholarly discussions on what some might call radical topics relevant to the needs and concerns of Black and brown people edified my mind and spirit in ways that no other place on campus could. SJI means so much to so many, and we are happy that it has endured for 15 years and counting. The mission and the vision of the Institute is carried out under my direction, but none of the work would be possible without the dedicated staff and leadership team. Allison, Ali Reza, Amrita, Shanina, our scholars and student volunteers. Allison, where are you? Stand up. Allison is my right hand, my left hand, sometimes my right foot and my left foot, sometimes my right brain and my left brain. Allison holds it down for me while I try to do all of the numerous things that are on my plate. And so Allison, in person, in front of this entire ballroom, I have to tell you that your work is valued and appreciated. Thank you for all that you do. So a bit about tonight's program. The details are on each of your tables. So you have the placard. The front side of the placard has the artwork done by Keith Lamar that happens to be the album cover for the Freedom First Band's work. And on the back side of it is an abbreviated version of the program. There's a QR code on the back side of that placard as well, down on the right lower hand corner. That will give you access to the full flipbook program of tonight's event, including the biographies of each of our performers. So if you have, and if you're at a table and you don't know how to do a QR code, ask somebody else at the table with you. They will absolutely show you. It's pretty simple. But the short and the skinny is that we are honored to have local and national artists on deck for you tonight. Up first, we'll have a replay of Ananias Dixon's performance of Lisa Langford's Dead Wrong. He performed it at the 2022 Intergenerational Think Tank hosted here in this very space. Fair warning, there is a good amount of explicit language. So if you have virgin ears, you might want to step out for the 9 minutes or so of his monologue. After the video performance, we will then have original performances by the incomparable Mariama White and the delightful Martinique Mims. Throughout the evening, there is also a couple of silent auctions going. The main one that I plan to tell you about is the one over to the right. That is the work of Cleveland's own Donald Black Jr. He also has prints of his amazing work for sale. But those two big items that you see, Balance Point and, yes, Reflection of Self, which is one of Keith Lamar's favorites, those are both up for silent auction. There are bid sheets on those tables throughout tonight's performance. Feel free to go and bid. All proceeds are being split between the artists and Keith Lamar's campaign. So I should tell you a little bit about Mr. Keith Lamar and how this came to be. Those of you who are here probably know that you're here to see a concert of sorts performed by an international band that has traveled all over the world. And it's the Freedom First Band featuring Keith Lamar and Albert Marquez. Keith Lamar is a lifelong Clevelander who I've had the great privilege of being in community with for the last year and a half or so. And who also, in addition to being an accomplished writer, an author, an artist, as you can see from this artwork here around the stage, and a spoken word artist, he also happens to be sentenced to death on Ohio's death row. He was wrongfully convicted. I know I have some lawyer and lawyer-adjacent folks in the room. Those of you who understand this concept of Brady disclosures, The prosecutors in Keith's 1993-94 trial decided that they were going to provide a narrow interpretation of Brady. Brady is a U.S. Supreme Court case that says all defendants have a right to exculpatory evidence against them. It places a burden on the government to provide that evidence pre-trial so that individuals are able to adequately mount a defense. The prosecutors in Keith's case have said that they used a narrow interpretation of that, and through that narrow interpretation were successful in having him sentenced to death in 1995. Narrow, for those of you who aren't lawyers or non-adjacent, or aren't lawyer adjacent in the room, lawyer adjacent in the room, let me just say that a narrow interpretation of Brady means that a constitutional violation had to have occurred. Now, the courts haven't said so yet, and that's another discussion for another day. But as of right now, Keith is scheduled to be executed on January 13th of 2027. I don't want to ruin too much of the show for you tonight, but to say that my life has been enriched in ways I never imagined by having the opportunity to be in community with Keith is an understatement by far. I have never had the opportunity to really talk with, to learn from, to engage in intellectual conversations with someone on this campus or any other campus in the United States of America in the way that I have during our visits on Ohio's death row. To say he is phenomenal is an understatement. And to say that the stakes are high as we seek to raise awareness about the injustice that he is enduring and the way that he is living despite his conditions is critically important in this moment in time. And so I'm grateful to have you all here. This event is free and open to the public through generous donations from our sponsors. And I'm specifically asking that if you are here and you care about the work of SJI or you care about the efforts to save Keith's life, that you make donations on any of the QR codes that are on your desk or on the screen that will be flashing throughout tonight's event. Yeah, everything else I say is going to spoil it. So I will stop there, and we will, if we're ready, we'll start with Dead Wrong. Thank you.
I fucking hate jelly donuts. I ain't no religious nut or nothing like that. I ain't been to church in I don't know when, but I know it's a God. Lil G and Big G. Like Ganesh, Lil G. That's the motherfucker I like. The elephant with the four arms sitting in the lotus flower, that motherfucker is cold, ice cold. He's the remover of obstacles. Like, move or get out of my way, know what I mean? That's a God, Lil G, that could be watching you from wherever Lil G guys reside and just be like, bam, bip, ta-dow to every hindrance in your path. I like that shit. But God, Big G, that motherfucker's crazy. First of all, he's white. Like Ted Danson white. Real chiseled and good looking in his youth and all gray and stately and shit in his dotage. No, don't get me wrong. Ted Danson's a good looking motherfucker. I don't want to live in a world where Big G guy look like Mitch McConnell. Hell no. So God, as I've been led to believe, is white. And white people have historically been capricious as fuck. Slavery, capricious. Jim Crow, capricious. Donald Trump. Try as I might to envision a God that looks like me. When I'm in the foxhole, when the condom break, when I'm waiting on test results, I pray to Ted Danson. I I try to stay on the wide side of right when it comes to Ted Danson. His shit could switch any minute. I mean, I read his tenets, I keep his laws. I mean, not every jot and tittle, but I ain't coveting nobody's wife or nothing. I know his word. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was in prison, you visited me. Now I understand feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, but what in the fuck does Ted Danson give a fuck about some prison? I mean, I know Jesus took a thief to paradise, but that was after the motherfucker paid his debt to society. All the people at the bottom of the heap that could have been name-checked, orphans, widows, leopards. But the Bible, the holy word, came down squarely in the camp of the incarcerated. Like I said, Ted Danson, capricious as a motherfucker. So I look into it. Come to find out, Roman prisons gave no food, no phones, and absolutely no fucks. If you have somebody on the outside to bring you something to eat, or some medicine because they done flogged you before they locked you up, or a blanket to beat back the cold, you was asked out. And speedy trials hadn't been invented yet. So you was in there till whatever Pontius Pilate type motherfucker decided to hear your case. Could have been 2-3 years before you saw the inside of a courtroom. So a visit was more than just a visit. It was life. When I was in prison, so I was moved to start looking out for brothers in prison. At first it started off with just a card or a letter, putting a few dollars on their books, but then here come Ted Danson talking about more, do more. So the next thing I know, I done caught the bus out to the penitentiary. You gotta catch the bus out there. Ain't no other way to get out there but by bus. 4 hours each way. They put them poor bastards way the fuck out there so we can forget about them. Like trash, like refuge, like something broken and scattered. We'd rather leave on the curb than to try to fix. Like in 2022 years of our collective minds, we couldn't come up with a better way than the Romans. I started corresponding with this one cat, Corey. He was on death row in federal prison, but that didn't mean much at the time because there was a moratorium on executions. The federal government hadn't killed nobody in 16 years. I mean, old age would take him out before the electric chair could get good and hot. I mean, he was locked up, but he was alive, right? When I was in prison, usually I come in there and he be sitting in there on the other side of the glass because it's not enough we lock the motherfucker away forever. We got to deprive the motherfucker of human touch too. He be in there smiling. Makes you feel good to mean that much to somebody. Makes you feel like that's how it's supposed to be in life. Period. I see you, you see me, our eyes light up. We'll sit there and talk about movies and music. I brought up sports one time, but I'm a Browns fan, so that's the definition of cruel and unusual punishment. And we just chop it for like 45 minutes. Only this time ain't no light in Corey's eyes. There's a flicker of fear. Instead, I say, Corey, what's wrong? He say, this motherfucker trying to kill every motherfucker he can before he get out of motherfucking office. I wish I could tell you I said something wise or kind or confident. But I spent the last time I ever saw Corey just looking over his shoulder because I couldn't look him in the eye. The whole bus ride home, I prayed to Ted Danson. I reminded that capricious, gray-haired fuck that his holy word said he came to set the prisoners free. I swore up and down on a stack of Bibles that if he let Corey live, I would visit every prison on the eastern seaboard. I cried like a punk-ass bitch until I saw the news. They killed Corey just before midnight. In 6 months, the federal government had murdered more people than they had in 16 years. Corey put out a statement through his lawyers. He said he was sorry. He said to remember his victims. He said his last meal of a pizza and a strawberry shake was delicious, but he didn't get the jelly donut he asked for. What's with that, he said? This should be fixed, he said. This should be fixed. Who are we to deny a dying man of a jelly donut? Who are we to kill him in the first place? I fucking hate jelly donuts. Thank you.
Good evening. To sing after that, I gotta take a little breath for a moment. I'm so honored to be here tonight. My name is Mariama White, and I have a song that I just released a few days ago called To Be Free. And just a quick story, it is not available on all the platforms yet, but it is available on a site called Bandcamp. And if you go to the bulletin, the digital program, you'll be able to see the link there. So if you go ahead and download this song, if you like this song tonight, tomorrow, whenever you want to see it, hear it again, all of the profits will go to Keith Lamar's campaign. I hope you enjoy this song. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I've been thinking about what it means to be free. I've been dreaming about what freedom looks like on me. Am I like a child at play? No worry, living for today, whatever path I take. No stress about what people say, 'cause I know the only way for me is to live in freedom and liberty. I wanna know what it means. I wanna know what it means. What does it mean to be free? I wanna know. What does it mean to be free? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanna know. I've been thinking about what it means to be free. Yeah, And I've been dreaming, dreaming, dreaming about what freedom looks like on me. On me. Is it minimal possessions and joy, plenty, plenty? Will I strive for many riches in a capitalist society? 'Cause I know the only way for me is to live in freedom and liberty. I wanna know what it means. I wanna know what it means, yeah. To be free. I wanna know what it means to be free. What does it mean? Oh, to be free. I wanna know. Free expression, no oppression, only blessings. Answer me the questions, light as a feather. Past is over, no longer having to look over my shoulder. My right to be who I'm born to be, my original authenticity. Free to fly so high. I wanna know. What does it mean to be free? I've got to be free. Free to fly so high. What does it mean to be free? No oppression, just blessing. What does it mean? Thank you.
Okay, I know we're here for some serious business and living, as Keith says on one of his songs, you have to live life with all seriousness. That's true. And also, I know when we hear a beat, we know how to bop. We're not bopping. We're not bopping. Come on, y'all. When you hear a beat, you know how to bop. That is my best friend. And she just sang. Next, we have the most beautiful Martinique Mims, who's going to bless us with some interpretive dance. And if y'all want to dance on the sides and stuff with her, you know, we know how to bop.
Did you think that I'd stay down and give it up? Did you think I'd be back, I'd be calling up? Oh, I'm better, oh since you've been gone. I'm free, oh, I'm free, oh, I'm more confident. Did you think that I'd stay down and give it up? 'Cause with these scars came a brave heart. Even when they hurt, I'm kinda grateful. Sometimes we gotta get them to remind us who we are. Broken parts made a brave heart. Even though it hurt, I come up greater. Sometimes we gotta feel them to remind us who we are. Got a brave heart. Brave heart. Brave heart. Brave heart. Brave heart. I thought about it, I wrote about it, I cried about it too. Uncomfortable, these low lows, I've been there with you. I ain't mad, I ain't mad. Oh, I thank you, I do. 'Cause with these scars came a brave heart. Even when they hurt, I'm kinda grateful. Sometimes we gotta get them to remind us who we are. Broken parts made a brave heart. Even though it hurt, I come up greater. Sometimes we gotta feel them to remind us who we are. Got a brave heart. Brave heart.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say them loud, say them clear, for the whole round world to hear. I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. Remove all the bars that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and agree that every man should be free. I wish I could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things that I can do, though I'm way overdue. I'd be starting anew. Well, I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if by my heart I could fly. I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know, yeah. And I'd sing, 'cause I know, yeah. And I'd sing, 'cause I know how it feels. I know how it feels to be free. Yeah, yeah, I know how it feels. And I know how it feels to be free. No, no, no.
said delightful and beautiful. Y'all see that I told the truth. As the musicians come, yes? No? Maybe so? Yes, please. As the musicians come, I want to remind you that we have the silent auction here in the room. I don't see one bid yet. And I might start a bidding war, but it probably doesn't do us any good for me to start, so somebody else start the bidding war, please. But the sign-up sheets the bidding sheets are right there inside the room. They're in the ballroom on purpose. You don't have to miss anything. We would love for you to get up, move about, and bid on those pieces. I'll also say that at the conclusion of today's concert, there are items being sold to support Keith's campaign out in the lobby there. So please don't leave without getting merchandise and finding ways to support Keith. And then the last thing I'll say is don't leave a table without a centerpiece. Somebody at the table has to take the centerpiece because we don't want to. It is our gift to you. Okay. Good. I see people in line bidding. Yes. Yes.
My name is Keith Lamar. I'm a poet, author, and musician. For the past 31 years, I've been in solitary confinement, buried under the never-ending agony of sensory deprivation. On January the 13th, 2027, the state of Ohio intends to kill me. I'm innocent. Thousands of people around the country and the world have rallied around my cause, joining me in my demand for justice. Here's my story. When I was 19 years old and selling drugs, a group of would-be robbers in search of money forced their way into my apartment. A shootout ensued, and regrettably I took someone's life and was myself shot twice in the legs. Facing a long prison sentence and on the advice of counsel, I pled guilty to murder and was sentenced to serve 18 years to life. Determined to redeem myself and make good on my potential, I completed my GED, enrolled in college, and became a voracious reader in an attempt to repair myself to society. I was in the 4th year of my sentence when, in 1993, a riot erupted inside the prison. Apparently, a group of Muslim prisoners on religious grounds refused to submit to mandatory tuberculosis testing and were given an ultimatum: take the test or else. Amid rumors of a forced inoculation, the Muslims took over the prison in protest, releasing some 400 prisoners from their cells and setting into motion an 11-day standoff that would ultimately claim the lives of 1 guard and 9 prisoners. I was on the recreation yard when it all began. A guard came running out of the building with blood streaming down his face, followed by a masked prisoner who was carrying a weapon and yelling, "We taking over." Against my better judgment, I went inside to check on my personal belongings. A fatal mistake. It was complete chaos. When I made it to my assigned location, I discovered that it was being used as a holding area for hostages, both guards and prisoners. I was thereafter approached by a masked prisoner who gave me the option to either participate or leave. I chose to leave. Hundreds of us gathered on the yard, waiting as the National Guard and Highway Patrol took up watch outside the perimeter fence. Later, when dead bodies were dumped into the yard, they stood by and did nothing. It was as if I was trapped inside a nightmare. Around 2 a.m. the following morning, we were rounded up and herded into the gymnasium, where we were stripped naked and then violently forced in random groups of 10 into cells meant for 1 person. Stressed and stretched to the limit, a fight broke out over food. Tragically, I stood back and watched as a man named Dennis Weaver was held down by 3 prisoners and choked to death. It was a cowardly thing to do, and I can now see and admit that. But at the time, I was worried about my own life. When I was later questioned by authorities, I claimed to have been asleep. It was my way of telling them that I didn't want to be involved. But it was too late. Because I had gone into the hostage area without wearing a mask, my name would be mentioned among a vast array of potential suspects. Even though the state concedes that I was never affiliated with any of the gangs said to have presided over the riot, the fact that I was already serving time for murder would play a big part in their decision to indict me. Ultimately, I was charged with 9 counts of aggravated murder. I couldn't believe it. Mind you, it was never expected that I would actually demand a trial. He copped out once, he'll cop out again, was the prevailing belief. In fact, no sooner than I was indicted, I was offered a deal. Plead guilty and we'll run the time concurrent with the time you're already serving. In other words, I would have gotten off easier had I actually killed someone. But why me? Why was I singled out for this undeserved retribution? It's a good question, one that I've spent the better part of 3 decades trying to explain. Here's what I can tell you. When the riot came to an end, overzealous officials rushed into the prison without first securing the massive crime scene, rendering inadmissible some 22,000 pieces of evidence. So there was absolutely no evidence to link anyone to crimes. This meant the state had to rely solely on the uncorroborated testimony of jailhouse informants, the most unreliable witnesses of all. What to do? Well, the first thing the state did was enlist the help and expertise of the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office. This was not a random selection. Hamilton County has the dubious distinction of convicting and executing more than half of all death row prisoners in the United States. And how have they been so successful? The answer is simple and deadly. Through the impaneling of all-white juries, the use of paid jailhouse informants, and the intentional withholding of exculpatory evidence. I have now in my possession the statement of an actual perpetrator who admitted to murdering someone for whom I was sentenced to death. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. They withheld so much more. It's over 3 decades later now, and I'm still in solitary confinement, being tortured because I refused to plead guilty to something I didn't do. I'm innocent. Look, we kid ourselves when we speak of justice. Until we have a process that holds everyone equally accountable for their actions, this system will remain what it has always been, a punishment system. And as we all know, those who don't have the capital get the punishment.
Keys on the phone? Hi, Keith, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
We're going to start with the journey. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and.
Hello, everybody. My name is Keith and I'm joined here in collaboration with a group of amazing musicians out of New York City. We come to you under the banner of Freedom First, led by the incomparable Afro Marquez. We're here to share with you the strength and beauty of what it means to be part of a movement, part of a campaign that has remained true to its cause. We stand for truth and justice for all. This isn't just about me. You see, on May the 25th, 2020, a black man by the name of George Floyd was murdered in broad daylight, killed by a racist cop who refused to stop kneeling on his neck. We're here to send you back to the magnitude of this moment, to bow our heads in respect to those who are dead and no longer here. At the height of the pandemic, when fear forced people to shelter in place, 30 musicians with no permit for no pay came out to play at a place called Grand Army Plaza, New York City. That's where it all started, yo. A grand army of improvisers standing in the blazing sun with no hate, no guns, trying to unfuck the world. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. One step, if it's true, can turn into two people having a conversation. Music can be the source of your liberation, Keith. Arturo Ferro said this to me. And I'm gonna keep it real. At the time, I couldn't conceive it. 4 years later, and we've done concerts all over the world, on 3 different continents, and I still can't believe it. It's glorious, man. From right here inside a tiny prison cell in hell, I've been able to delve into the deepest parts of who I am. There's a gate between our heart and pain, a path that once taken leads to higher ground, a place where truth, hope, and freedom can be found. I'm talking about the journey, everybody, not the arrival at our destination, but what happens along the way if we stay the course. We're about to take you on a journey through some dark places, but there's light on the other side, I promise you. Come with us. Come with us. There's light on the other side. I promise you. There's light on the other side, Mr. C. There's light on the other side, Aisha. There's light on the other side. I promise you. There's light. Yeah.
Keith, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. Calling All Souls is next. You start.
When people typically think of an artist, what comes to mind is someone who uses their imagination to capture and convey reality as it's seen and felt. In a way, what we do or leave undone in the course of our everyday lives is viewed as insignificant unless or until we are thrown to the crucible of adverse circumstances and forced to demand from self the strength and focus necessary to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. I recite these words on October the 25th, 2025. A little over 1 year away from my proposed execution, which is scheduled to take place on January the 13th, 2027. In other words, I'm walking towards the brink of my existence, staring directly into that terrifying darkness that awaits us all. It's a difficult level to be in, I won't lie. But the only way to face it is to make it mean something. It's in this very strict sense of the word that I consider myself an artist. Someone who's trying to make a way out of no way. The music you are about to listen to comes out of the realm of the impossible. Something that in reality should not have been doable. Whether or not I am successful in stopping these people from killing me, you are right now listening to my last will and testament. Embodiment of everything I've endured, learned, and conquered. Because of the character and vision of some very remarkable people who believed when there was no reason to believe. Our movement has made it all the way to Western Reserve. My friend and brother, Abdullah Cass, who's accompanying me on the piano right now, is foremost among these fearless souls. On paper, I shouldn't have anything coming. After all, we speak different languages and come from two very different worlds that exist barriers that aren't always easy to overcome. But music is a bridge, and all we need to do is open our hearts and minds to be able to comprehend the complexities that constitute our shared humanity. Ain't that right, Amaro? Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Talk to him, man. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm okay, everybody. You see, for the past 3 decades, I've lived out my existence in a cell on Ohio's death row. trapped in the carceral silence of solitary confinement. The uninitiated, it seems I spent the bulk of my life 22 hours a day inside a cage no larger than the average closet. How have I survived without losing my mind? Music. I'm telling you the truth. When I first arrived here, I was a deeply wounded and bitter person. And if it's true to say that hate, which can destroy so much, never failed to destroy the one who hated, I was surely on my way to a definite undoing. For the innocent man to be thrown into the depths of hell with an unspeakable horror. One that stretches back to the agony and pain that attended the middle passage. Indeed, what I am going through is not unprecedented. It has been done before, a long time ago, and recently. It took a federal prisoner to point this out to me. An old man named Snoop who turned me on to the healing powers of music. It's to him that I owe my sanity. God bless you, Snoop. You see, he gave me the means to make my pain and the tools to reconstruct my mentality, which in turn allowed me to see and understand that what I'm caught up in fact, the continuation of a centuries-long struggle against oppression and greed. John Coltrane was my introduction to improvisational music. Music most commonly known as jazz, and served as the entry point into the vast reservoir of resistance and accumulated wisdom that accompany would-be slaves when they turn into the new land. Put in this proper perspective, this music is the blood-drenched document of man's inhumanity to man and the overcoming of it. John Coltrane's love supreme should be seen in this light. As a recapitulation of the fight to hold on to one's humanity. In the face of the unspeakable, unthinkable, one must not only speak and speak clearly, but one must also strive to find the fortitude to love supremely. That's the more artistic stuff. When heard softly, the crashing of cymbal can be likened to the sound of a wave. That's right, Zach. The snare to that of a heartbeat. The bass line is the rising and setting of sun. Let's go, Devin. The piano is how the wind blows. Yes, Lord. And the horn is the blood-curdling scream of a human being trapped inside a dream gone bad. It is only when these polyrhythmic sounds bound and come together that the creator's voice can be heard. Everything is beautiful. Planted within the peerless plight that created my ancestors was a seed of hope, which was watered and cultivated by music. Through the lifting up of every voice came the singing, came the singing of this glorious theme of freedom, which is love's true destiny. Indeed, love is the only freedom. Love is the only freedom. Love is the only freedom. We are setting our true values when we possess. Hey, when in spite of all and everything, we insist on the highest and best from ourselves and each other. It's music about trust and faith. Hey, about doubt, even when you can't see the steps, and believe in that your foot will find something solid to stand on. Following your heart is the purest form of improvisation. Being true to that voice that called you forward, and then doing with dignity and grace the things that needs to be done to change this system, to change the world. We must first act ourselves. That's what Tom Cruise believes. It is to this that we are calling our soul. Yeah. Calling our souls. Calling our soul. We call it our souls, everybody. We call it our soul. Yeah. Calling our soul. Hello, everybody. I'm so very thankful to be here with you all tonight. I can't sing. Yeah. Thanks so much, everybody. You know, when I woke up this morning, my face was wet with tears. I was just so grateful for everything that was happening. Everything that has gone into making this moment possible. You know, I want to thank Aisha Hardaway for formulating the blueprint to bring us all together here. Let's put up for Aisha, everybody. You know, for those who know Aisha, you already know that when she makes up her mind to do something, it will be done. And so, you know, here we are. You know, I appreciate you, sister. You know, grace is the word that figures prominently in my life. Yeah, give it up for her. She deserves it. Now, count more than a few times. Yeah, let's give it up. It's a little delay on the line, but, you know, I want to make that known. Yeah. I see you smiling, Aisha. Yeah. It's well-deserved, sister. You know, I'm thinking about the word grace and how prominently it figures into my life. You know, I grew up right there in Cleveland, and I can count, you know, more than a few times I could have lost my life there. And I grew up not too far from where you all are right now. And the only reason I'm still alive is by and through the grace of God. I can honestly say that. And we all have our definitions and understanding of what God is. And, you know, at the risk of, you know, offending, you know, somebody, I just want to yield to to the concept that there's something higher involved in controlling of our lives. That's all I mean to say. I don't want to offend anybody's sensibilities. You know, left to my own devices, I would have been dead a long time ago. It was grace, undeserved favor that has brought me this far. I squandered my potential, had allowed myself to become a pariah to my community, an interest instead of a help. Me, to whom much has been given, I have brought shame to my family. And yet all these many years later, blessing after blessing has entered into my life. That's grace. Many of you will probably find it shocking that the man who wrote that song was himself a captain on a slave ship, a guy named John Newton. He was the captain on the ship that reduced my ancestors to cargo and delivered them into bondage. In today's problem, he was a human trafficker. Simply, I became a drug trafficker right there on the streets of Cleveland. And one day on his way from Africa, he caught in this terrible storm and was confronted with his mortality, and that changed him. Simply, I was on my way back to what I thought was my life, and I got caught up in a different kind of storm, a prison ride. When all was said and done, I was confronted by my mortality, and it changed me. And I was thrown into this dark and cold cell, and I was mad as hell. I really was. And injustice had been done. Conveniently, I forgot about all the drugs I sold. I participated in the dismantling and destruction of my community. I forgot about the life I took trying to hold on to my Mercedes Benz. I was blind, I was lost. When it came to this one, I met this old cat named Stoop. I just mentioned him in Calling All Souls. And he became my mentor. He taught me about the Middle Passage, that great expanse of the Atlantic Ocean that stretches beyond the horizon, places and passages where most of the atrocities occurred. The men who wrote Amazing Grace would have been on one of these ships, callously counting dead bodies as they were thrown overboard, thousands of bodies. So many bodies. Smith told me that sharks still swim in the same pattern to search for food. They don't do that. And this was the context in which I was introduced to John Coltrane. This music saved me. Kept me grounded in the reality that connected me to a deeper sense of being. When I first came here, I was only allowed 5 cassette tapes, and The Love Supreme was one of them. I listened to it every day, never knowing that I want to be performing with these amazing musicians. Please join me in giving them a big round of applause, everybody. Zach O'Farrell on drums. And Gates on bass. Give it up for Devin on bass. Coles on saxophone. Yeah. I brought my cats on the piano. Later on, we're going to be calling to the stage a poet, amazing poet named Eartha Hopkins. I'm sure she's there today. Give it up to her in advance. You all will be, very, very, very pleased by her performance. I was going to sing a little bit this morning. We're out very early today. And I didn't know whether or not I wanted to risk it, because I really can't sing. Then my niece is here today, and but I woke up this morning with a song on my heart, and it goes, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saves a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. But yeah, that's me. That's my story. That's how I made it to you all today, by grace. And it's another part of the song that really, really resonates with me. I won't sing it. I'll read it to you instead. It says, through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Twas grace that brought me safe this far. And grace will lead me home. I believe that. So it's a great honor that I'm here with you all tonight. You are part of my journey, part of my narrative now, part of my story, part of the path that I've taken to find my way home to my family, to redeem myself, to undo the damage that I caused. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of you for coming out to learn about my story. It means everything to me, all caps. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming out. Got Amy Goodell of the campaign manager for Justice Keith Lamar. She's there with you all today. We got David Rouse and Beth Not in the audience, contributors to my campaign all over New York. So many beautiful people have joined in the fight to save my life, and I'm really, really humbled by the effort. We've been going all over the world, all over the country, telling anybody who would listen. And this guy, John Newton, who wrote Amazing Grace, who was a captain on a slave ship, he later became an advocate for the abolition of slavery. People could change. Just as he trafficked bodies and I trafficked drugs, I changed. On the day of his death, they eradicated slavery in Europe. In addition to my own case, I'm fighting to eradicate the death penalty in the United States. The people with this sort of history should not be killing people. So it's a larger struggle that my story is caught up in, and with your help, I think we could overcome, the hurdles that are in front of us. And so thanks again, everybody, for coming out. It really, really means everything. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks so much. Free?
Yeah, be free's next, piano start.
This is how it all began. And confused and pain. A spark turned to a flame. 10 people died, lost their lives. Somebody had to be blamed. Even though it would never be explained how after 22,000 pieces of evidence was collected, none of it could be connected to a crime. This is what blows my mind. Phony, uncorroborated testimony of jailhouse informants willing to sell their soul in exchange for an early parole. But the state had the power to indict.
You have 1 minute remaining.
An angry community out for blood. Please, let it not be misunderstood. An eye for an eye means someone has to die. An eye for an eye, someone has to die. So many different voices, so many people standing around. Keep your mouth closed, Keith. I was constantly told. An all-white jury, white judge, black row, 18 years without justice or soul. I went through this, went through this, sat by silently as they tortured me. They tortured me. They tortured me. Sat by silently as they tortured me. After all my eyes before I could see. Open.
Thank you for using GTL. Hello. This is a prepaid debit call from
Keith.
an inmate at the Ohio State Penitentiary. To accept this call, press. This call is from a DRC correctional facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Utilization of an unapproved application and three-way calls to communicate are strictly prohibited and a violation of DRC policy. Thank you for using GTL. Thank you for using GTL.
Hi, kid, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Keep going.
Oh, this is what they did to me. I'm here to speak truth to power, you. And tell you that we have the power, yo. That we have the keys to the kingdom, yo. So hard to believe, but you need to know. Until all of us are free, none of us can be. Until all of us are free, none of us can be. Until all of us are free, none of us can be. It took me a long time to find my way out. A long time to understand what it's all about. Find out what any people will silently accept, and you have found out the exact amount of injustice that will be applied. We have to draw the line. Do more than just survive. To live, we have to be willing to risk it all. That's the only way the soul can come to rest. The only way peace can be achieved. We have to reach for the best inside ourselves so we can be free. So we can be free.
We can be free.
So we can be free, everybody.
We can be free.
Be free, everybody.
Be free.
Be free, everybody.
Be free.
We have to reach inside ourselves so we can be free.
We can be free.
Yeah, so we can be free. Everybody in there, all you young people in there, the future that is coming for us. All you young people, the future is in your hands. And I want each and every one of you to say, so we can be free. If this your future that's being jeopardized, this your future that people are gambling with right now. And in order to be free, you have to stand up. You have to reach for the best inside yourselves. So you can be free.
So we can be free.
Yeah. I want you to be free, together. Yeah. I just want to say briefly. I want to say, in case it was missed last go around, I just want to send special thanks to Amy Goodell, campaign manager for Justice Keith Lamar, Ken Wright, one of the oldest friends in the world. Who did what you are? Raise your hand, Ken. I mean, it's a big thing under the circumstances to have somebody stick with you for 40-odd years. My main man, you know, my brother from another mother for sure. You know, Aisha Hardaway once again. I want to also thank the students with whom I've been reading over the. You know, we've been reading some really, really heavy material. Aisha and I with young undergrad students there, and it's been really, really honored to be able to do that. When I first got caught up in the situation, you know, I was 25 years old. And when I refused to take a deal, they moved my case to an all-white county called Ironton, Ohio. And I swear I was the only black person in the whole town. Until a guy named Mr. C showed up. Mr. C, I don't know if you are here, brother, but if you are, I just want to thank you for the record for all that you did for me, for my 25-year-old self. You know, I went almost 2 years without being able to see my reflection in the mirror. Mr. C, stand up, brother. Stand up one time, brother. I just want to, yeah. You know, Mr. C came into my life, and he was there with me through this very, very horrifying experience. You know, they kept me in this cell with a mirror, without a mirror on the wall. I didn't have a mirror, and I was telling Mr. C about this. And a couple weeks later, I received a greeting card with a mirror on it. And I was finally able to see my face. And more than that, metaphorically, he held up a mirror so I could see what it means to be a black man standing erect in this society. And that meant something to my 25-year-old self. To be proud, to have dignity. And that's been my secret weapon all along, dignity. I don't do anything that's beneath my dignity. That's how I've been able to maintain my sanity, how I've been able to maintain my humanity. Mr. C planted that seed in me when I was 25 years old. And he also told me this thing about the slipstream. You remember that, Mr. C? You taught me about the slipstream? Yes, sir. And he was telling me, like, if you get behind the 18-wheel, it's a little room back there. If you get right in that sweet spot, it'll drag you along. It'll pull you forward. Well, I'm right now in that slipstream, Mr. C. I'm right now in it. I'm in that sweet spot, brother. Thank you so much for everything you did for me, brother. God bless you, Mr. C. Whenever I think about all the struggles and strife I've been through in my life, it's truly hard to comprehend. I mean, I'm sitting inside a cage on death row, so far away from home, so far away from everything I know. Might as well be inside the hold of a slave ship. That's what it feels like to be here. Yet it's hard sometimes to see how what I'm going through is connected to what my ancestors suffered in survival. Truth be told, I'm lucky to be alive. Real talk. Sometimes, when things get too heavy to carry, I close my eyes and drift back to a time when everything was all good. A time when it was fully understood that being here on this earth was a big blessing. My grandfather taught me that. You see, I grew up in a neighborhood called the Village. Small enclave on the east side of Cleveland. A beautiful place, yo. With fruit trees and sweet things on every corner. No lie. I was surrounded by my family and friends then, and I'm telling you, there was no end to all the love we shared. A real community planned by people whose only plan was to live and give everything they had. And they gave it all. Children of slaves who braved the worst of it. So we, their children, their grandchildren, could make the most of it. Yeah. To share the pain of knowing the truth. They never explained what kind of society we were born into. They didn't tell us about all the tricks and the traps that were designed to re-enslave. Or about the ache that could deliver us to an early grave. They wanted us to be free. They wanted us not to see all the ugliness around us. So a lot of us got caught up in the darkness and lost the light that was meant to guide us through. You gotta deal with the children the truth. Tell them it's not what they say, but what they do. Tell them the real about reality. That life isn't meant to be fair, that it's meant to be real. Tell the children the truth. Yeah. Tell the children the truth, everybody. Don't let these young people make the same mistakes we made growing up. Let's give them a chance. Let's put them in a position to advance, to move forward. We owe them that. Tell them the truth. Let them know where their power resides. Let them know that God is real. Let them know that what they feel is important. Tell them to have faith in the voice that is speaking inside of them. Tell them to stay strong in the struggles that are coming. Tell them to stay true to themselves when it get hard. Tell them the truth. And we all know that the momentum is involved with darkness. We know that. But the truth is, if and when you reach for the light, you will be helped. That's the truth. So don't be afraid to stand on your own 2 feet. Don't be afraid to reach deep inside yourself for the truth. And use your dignity as a weapon to fight your way forward. Tell the children the truth, everybody. Tell them the truth. Don't let these young people make the same mistakes we've made growing up. We gotta give them a chance. We gotta put some weapons in their hands so they can fight. We gotta tell them the truth. Tell them the truth about this history. Tell them the truth about this mystery. Tell the children the truth. Yeah. Tell them the truth. Don't let these young people make the same mistakes we made growing up. Yeah. Amy coming to the stage? Come to the stage. Oh, yeah, definitely. You all are in for a special treat. I mean, that's the only thing I'm going to say, so I won't ruin the prize. Kayla, you're going to love this, sweetheart. I'm so glad you're here today. Eartha is a really, really amazing poet, philosopher, thinker, and it's a real honor to introduce you all to Eartha. Eartha, come on to the stage, sweetheart, and thanks so much for being here. Eartha Hobson, everybody.
Hi, Keith. I'm always grateful to be in these positions, and grateful to Amy, grateful to Keith, grateful to the band, but most importantly, I'm grateful to my late mother who put me on the stage when I was 8 years old and said, start doing poetry. So in honor of her, who she recently just passed in April, this is for her. We got 99 problems. Our revolutions ain't won. And revolutions ain't won with passive-aggressive slave mentalities that will rather kill the soul than the body. Ain't nobody handing out subsidies for freedom. So lucky for y'all, I'll pay with my life. Matter of fact, tell them to hang my corpse so high that the next generation see stars of my courage in the skies. I live like I got black gods and goddesses on my side with Nat Turner and Marcus Garvey in these bloodlines. Who's to blame for our neighborhood's demise if we refuse to get up and fight? We move faster. For Jay-Z's 16 bars when 16 of our own brothers and sisters are encaged behind 16 bars. Mass incarceration is just a reincarnation of chattel slavery, but we them new slaves. And new slaves love new chains and pushing new whips that leave tread marks on the membrane. It's a shame how good and how bad it feels to be a nigga in this country. Got so many ills, but it's illegal for a nigga to feel in this country. So we don't shed tears when bright futures get immatiled in this country. How much of our blood needs to spill in this country? So I'm looking for soldiers, cause ain't no middle ground on this war field in this country. And I know you're looking at me like, how she still got hope? Like how my aspirations ain't vanished into thin air with the dope you unveiled in my neighborhoods. But I want you to hear me, and hear me clearly when I say yes, I'm still dreaming. And even as I watch former kings and queens dance on my corners for green, while street entrepreneurs slaying them things to thrive in your diabolical trickle-down system where insane is saved for survival, my boss pumps prosperity, peace, war, and revolution. You are now watching the evolution of a supreme being, a queen, hailing from the crevices, cracks, and creases of ancient Kemetic hieroglyphs and ordained orator. And my words are expensive if you're lucky. I may let you bid on my memories if you're lucky. I may place a piece of mine on sale, no wonder. I've always been a lover of language. This body of mine ever so gently meandering through melodic rhythms of diction that humdrum on the spirits of the restless, a heroine for the easily forgettable, with poetic prophecies that lie in the build-up of phonetics. If y'all was looking for me, my writings have always been on the wall. Thank you.
Amy, you gonna talk now? While he calls back? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Amy Gordeev. I'm the campaign manager for Justice for Keith Lamar. And thank you. So it's so wonderful to be back at Case Western. This is really our third time that Keith has had a space made here for him, a welcome space. 10 years ago, when Angela Davis was the keynote at the Justice think tank, we were just newly spreading the word about Keith's merchandise, his book, and Case Western was very gracious to us and let us bring it here and table it and put a copy in Miss Davis's hand. And I want you to know that it's still available. It's so beautiful, this book, and it took Keith 8 months to write, and it's such a revolutionary act that he did this from where he is. And this morning we were lucky, many of us, to get to visit with him. And we were talking about a lot of things. I just want to say one thing, because the phone broke up a little bit earlier, right? And when Keith was talking about the song Amazing Grace, he shared it with both of the groups today that visited him. He woke up this morning with his face completely wet, and he'd been dreaming and he'd been singing Amazing Grace in his sleep. And that's where all this reflection that he shared with us tonight came from. So I wanted to just say that because I felt so sad to hear that the phone was cutting off. We're going to be playing tomorrow at Antioch College at 1 o'clock. If anybody knows folks in Southern Ohio, please share that. And I also want to say one other thing about something that we were talking about earlier, and that is that an article just was published a couple days ago, and in it, Keith shared what he was doing while we were doing what we were doing when we recorded the album that this music is from. He had taken the mattress off of his concrete slab in his cell, and he had moved it, and he was performing as he is right now, so I want you to imagine it, wedged between the toilet and the wall, because that's where his signal can come in. So when it cracks up a little bit, let's just, I just want us to know that he's doing everything he can to catch the signal, to join us. And it's a miracle that he's even here at all. So I just want to share those things with you because those were so touching for us to think about earlier today. So my job during doing the campaign for the last, 14 years or so, is we're trying to bring Keith home. And as we know, the execution date has been moved, but we're getting close to just a year. And everything tonight is geared toward helping with his legal defense. I wanted to, Albert, would you be able to hold up that painting over there? I don't know if somebody over here would be able to hold this one up, Zach. We also have a limited edition of just 25 are all that we've made of paintings that Keith made. This of James Baldwin. This one took him 134 hours to make. And we had them done on professional paper, museum quality paper, or like a giclée. So if anybody is interested, there's only 25. It goes to his legal defense, and it is a tax-deductible donation. We are a nonprofit organization, 501c3. Tupac Shakur, he took 234 hours to make this. And also, only 25 prints are available. They are $1,000 each. If we knock it out of the park, that's $50,000 to bring him home. That's what it's for. So if that's you, and you are able to join us in that fight, we have the prints available in the back, along with the book, also the CD that all this music is from. I promise there's no static on this at all. Every note, every word is clear as day. And it's the first album. He is the first person in the history of humanity who, from solitary confinement, recorded an album. And that's awesome, right? It's actually his second album. And stay tuned, we're vying for a Grammy Award. We're trying to get nominated, and we're gonna see in 12 more days. So pray for us. Okay. I want to just say we have every payment method. I'm going to be fearless tonight. We have Venmo, we have Cash App, we have PayPal, we take cash, we have credit cards. We will, any way you want to help support, we will take it, because as beautiful as all this is, it means very little if we can't get him out of harm's way. So thank you so much, everyone, for everything that you're doing. I just want to say one more thing. Can Keith hear me? Is he here yet? Yeah. Keith, I just wanted to let you know that, can you hear me, Keith? Can you put on speaker? Yeah. Daryl is here. Daryl where are you, Daryl? Daryl, this gentleman over here is someone that I used to witness locked up inside the Ohio State Penitentiary with Keith, and he's a free man today, and we just want to celebrate your homecoming, Daryl. It's so beautiful. There are some other wonderful people here. Another person I just wanted to thank for your presence and make an acknowledgement of is Kevin Werner. Are you in the back? Is that you? I don't see so well. Kevin Werner is the executive director of Ohioans to Stop Executions. And so he's fighting the fight with us, and we just want you to share, check out his organization as well, because he's really in the fight to change this problem that we are having here in Ohio outrageous execution. So thank you, Kevin. And there's other people too, Auntie, and man, there's so many other wonderful people here. Mona is here, and Kayla. So I just wanted Keith to know we have some of those folks here. So thanks.
Yes, definitely want to thank my niece and nephew for being here. Daryl, thanks so much for coming out on way. I really, really appreciate that. Now I want to dedicate this next song to Mr. C, to Eartha, to follow up what she was, just talking about. So yeah, I'm dedicating this song to Mr. C and Aisha. Yeah, thanks so much for everything. Yeah.
The journey of the city is next. You start.
Okay. In this country, most of us operate under the delusion that we live in the 21st century, and that somehow, without actually doing the work, we have overcome our history. It's not true. Instead of hanging people from trees, we use the so-called criminal justice system to perform legalized lynchings and take this as a sign of progress. We confuse form with substance. When I embarked on this journey 3 decades ago, I was given the choice to either plead guilty to something I didn't do or face the death penalty. I was 25 years old. And the thought that I would have to give up my life represented a great burden to me, a burden I wasn't so sure I could bear. You see, I didn't fully understand back then that there was something more valuable than simply being alive. Although I intuitively understood that existing was not the same thing as living. I also somehow understood that in order to live with myself, I had to be true to myself. And for this, I would have to pay a hell of a price. After I was sentenced to death, I was placed in solitary confinement. It felt as if I was thrown into the middle of the ocean. Try to imagine it. Water as far as the eye could see, and it's just you by yourself floating. That's what solitary confinement is like. In a situation such as this, God ceases to be an abstraction. Something that exists apart from who you are and what you do. This is the domain of the drowned and the saved. Life is very real here. And your senses mean more to you than they ever will. What you can see, what you can feel, what you can hold in your hands. These are the only things that matter. And you begin to comprehend that under the circumstances, a piece of driftwood can be God. I mean, the smallest thing can change or save your life. And this piece of driftwood, a book, a dream, a random stranger, has not come to inquire about your particular race or religion. Instead, it has been sent to ask a more basic question. Do you want to live? And what does it mean to be alive? Tell me, what are we doing here? You ask Nazim Hikmet, who's one of my favorite poets, he would tell you that living is no matter. Which to me implies that we didn't come here to play, to have fun. And if that be the case, then I can live right here where I am, right here on death row. I needed to know that. More importantly, I needed to know that it's possible to lose everything and still be saved. At some point, I had to be willing to accept that the vastness I was so afraid of was God, which exists inside of me, inside of all of us. To accept this truth, I had to go within and teach myself how not to be afraid. And what exactly did I have to be afraid of anyway? Death? Hell? Well, as James Baldwin once famously said, when one is continually facing the worst that life can bring, one eventually ceases to be controlled by a fear of what life can bring. I amen this clarity. The arc of the moral universe bends towards justice, we are told. This may very well be, but we, with our own hands and minds, must bend it. We have to do the work. People are dying who could be saved. People are dying. We can save them. People are dying who could be saved. God bless you, Mr. C. Yeah. No, just on, I just want to thank you all once again. I'm sitting here in tears. It's always difficult for me to make it through that song, because that was written from the standpoint of my 25-year-old self. I want to acknowledge my sister, Mona, that's here also today. Thanks so much, Mona, for sticking with me through all these years, for being my sister, for keeping my niece and nephew close by me, keeping my heart beating, sweetheart. I really, really appreciate it. I don't think I can tell you enough how much that has meant to me in my life. But I carry you in my heart, sister. Thanks so much, Aisha, for everybody who came out. And, yeah, thanks so much, everybody. Daryl, thanks for coming, man. It really, really means a lot. Thanks so much, everybody. So much.
We love you, kid.
Love you too, brother.
We have one final piece for all of you. But before we do that, please, on alto saxophone, Chris Coles. On drums, Zach O'Farrell. Devin Gates on upright bass. We had Eartha Hopkins on the poetry. Of course, we also had Keith Lamar. Keith Lamar, ladies and gentlemen. Almost 100 musicians by now have been involved in this Freedom First movement. We just came back from playing in Paris, in France. Tomorrow we are playing again in Ohio. In a couple of weeks, we will be playing at the Seattle Jazz Festival. We are playing all over the world, but playing in Ohio is always a special, and playing in Cleveland is always very special. Keith is from here, and ultimately, those who will liberate Keith live here in Ohio, since this is where he is. So we really need all of you. Thanks so much for being here. It's an honor to be here today. This last piece is called On Living. You will see Keith on video. And I was just talking, we were visiting Keith this morning, and by the way, I have to admit that once again, I lost playing chess with him. 3 times in a row, yeah. The guy's a smart, you can tell that, right? Let's ignore this little thing about chess. But the important thing is that, as always, it was a very inspiring visit. And I was just thinking, he's so fearless, he's so free. If he is doing all of this Freedom First, but also book clubs with teenagers and talks in colleges and all of that. If he's doing all of that from death row, we can help him. We can do a lot. We can do more to help him. Yeah. So we will not stop until Keith is back here in Cleveland and he's here with us reciting his poetry from the stage. Thank you, everybody.
Living is no laughing matter. You must live with great seriousness, like a squirrel, for example. I mean, without looking for something beyond and above living. I mean, living must be your whole life. Living is no laughing matter. You must take it seriously. So much so, and to such a degree that, for example, your hands tied behind your back to the wall, or else in the laboratory in your white coat and safety glasses. You can die for people, even for people whose faces you've never seen, even though you know living is the most real, the most beautiful thing. I mean, you must take living so seriously that even at 70, for example, you'll plant olive trees. And not for your children either, but because although you fear death, you don't believe it, because living, I mean, weighs heavier. Let's say we seriously ill, need surgery, which is to say we might not get up from the white table. Even though it's impossible not to feel sad about going a little too soon, we'll still laugh at the jokes being told. We'll look out the window to see if it's raining or still wait anxiously for the latest newscast. Let's say we're at the front for something worth fighting for, say. There in that first offensive on that very day, we might fall on our face dead. We'll notice with a curious anger, but we'll still worry ourselves to death about the outcome of the war, which could last years. Let's say we're in prison and close to 50, and we have 18 more years, say, before the iron doors will open. We still live with the outside, with its people and animals struggle and win. I mean, with the outside beyond the walls. I mean, however and wherever we are, we must live as if we would never die. This earth will go cold. A star among stars, and one of the smallest. A gilded mote on blue velvet. I mean, this, our great earth, this earth will grow cold one day. Not like a block of ice or a dead cloud even, but like an empty walnut, it will float along in pitch black space. We must grieve for this now. We have to feel this sorrow now, for the world must be loved this much if we're going to say, I lived.
Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The power of the human spirit, my God, my brother is living. He's not just existing, he is living despite his conditions. He blesses me. I tell him every time I see him, he blesses me. It doesn't seem like a fair exchange when I go because he lifts me up in ways that I didn't even know I needed until I get there and I see his face. If you're here and you want to find a way to be involved, making donations, that QR code is not on the table by accident. I don't even know how to ask for money, but I figured out how to do it for Keith. Please, by all means, use the QR code, make a donation to his campaign. For me, from here until January 13th and beyond, all signs are pointing to Keith Lamar. If you want to know what I am doing, this is what I am doing. If you want to know how to be engaged with the Social Justice Institute, please know it is going to have something to do with Keith. That is just how it's going for me right now. This artwork that's at the table, I have been told to inform you guys that it will be outside at Keith's merch table. There's additional merchandise. That book, people that I hosted a book club at the Siegel Adult Learning Center this summer, they were here. The book is phenomenal. I write for a living, but Keith is a writer. I'm not a writer. Keith is a writer. That book is a very, very, very well thought out and beautifully written piece of work. You will be blessed to read it. If you want to know more about his story, let him tell you. It is in the pages of that book. The vinyl, I'm listening to the vinyl every day, every morning on my album, on my record player at home. You too can have the vinyl. So please, by all means, spend some time in fellowship, spend some time looking at the merchandise, and use that cue. Oh, I should thank you, my brother Donald Black Jr. is telling me that we have winners for the silent auction, and I probably should announce them. Good deal. Mr. Donald Black Jr. and his beautiful wife, Allie, are here with us tonight. So, Balance Point, which is the beautiful young boys, Poppin' Willies, which I was supposed to learn how to do, 3 years ago, brother? I still got to get my life. Poppin' Willies, Balance Points, 32 by 48 photograph on wood by Donald Black Jr., estimated value $5,000, goes to Herlinda Bradley for $1,000. And the Reflection of Self, the 48 by 32 photograph on wood by Donald Black Jr., estimated value $5,000, goes to David Roush for $5,000. Again, the proceeds for these, unless y'all want to outbid somebody, I ain't called close. I'm just telling you where we at. The proceeds, half go to the artist, the other half goes to the campaign. Please, by all means, enjoy some fellowship, take some centerpieces, find ways to be engaged and involved in this work. Y'all, it feels heavy, but I'm telling you, there is a blessing in this work. There is a blessing in this work. Y'all should come on and get it. Have a good night.